Hello everyone, I'm Christopher Rogers, and this is the Amateur Fishing Project. Right now, I'm on Lake Holbrook, headed out to do some night fishing, and I'm hoping that we're going to have a phenomenal night tonight. It is the full moon of May, which historically has been one of the best full moons to fish. We do have some cooler temperatures, unseasonably cool temperatures. The low is supposed to be in the low 60s tonight, so at some point I'm actually going to have to put on a jacket here in May. The water temperature is in the low 70s, and over the course of this video, my buddy Johnson and I, my buddy Johnson is joining me for this video, and I'll introduce you to him here in a minute. We're going to be sharing some tips with you on night fishing that will hopefully help make the experience more enjoyable for you if you choose to get out on the water to do this. And as I always do, hopefully I'll share a few things with you that will help you put a few more fish on the boat if you're fortunate enough to get out here and enjoy an evening like this. So we're going to move on up to the first spot we're going to fish. Obviously we're fishing in daylight conditions. We'll fish through the night and in the trip fishing in daylight conditions again, which is one of the great things about night fishing, is you get to enjoy some of the premium times to be on the water at the very end of the day and at its dawn. So hopefully we'll be able to put some fish on the boat for you. So the next time I pick this up, we will be just about ready to cast, which in video editing time is going to happen that fast. All right everyone, as I said in my introduction, I'm joined this evening by my buddy Johnson that I've been fishing with since we were little kids. So Johnson, gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Amateur Fishing Project.
Glad to be here, and I hope we have a great night.
We will. Now, I guess Johnson's going to start off with a spinnerbait with a curly trailer. I'm going to start off with a rattle trap during our daylight hours. We're going to work this shoreline, working a grass line back into the back of this creek where we're going to do the majority of our night fishing. Now, I said in the introduction I was going to give you some tips on night fishing. The first tip is, whenever possible, it's always best to fish water that you're familiar with. You don't want to go exploring after dark. So we're in a location that I've fished many times over the years, and we shouldn't have any trouble finding our way through the timber, around the grass lines, and hopefully picking up some fish in the process. So that's tip number one. Whenever possible, when you're going out night fishing, always fish water that you're familiar with. So now let's get started. And I'm not going to run like this the entire night. There you go. There's a fish. Oh, he came off. That was a nice fish too. That was a nice fish. Holy cow. Well, that was promising. Oh yeah, that's a good one right there.
That's one of my most productive colors out of all the rattle traps, I guess.
I did a whole video. There you go. There's another one. Let's see if I can get this fish in the boat. The smallest one, of course. Of course. The smallest fish so far I get in the boat. But
That's pretty good.
3 hits on it so far. All right, look at that little bass.
The other two were much bigger than that.
Yeah. The other two that I lost were at least 5 or 6 pounds each. Wouldn't you say, Johnson?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Go out there and get you one, Johnson. There's something swimming across the lake right there. I don't know if it's a
Beaver.
nutria or a beaver. I was out on Lake Fork one night, had one of those things.
There he is.
Got him. Get him on the boat, Johnson.
Oh, he threw it.
Did he?
He threw it.
Okay. Well, I don't feel so bad now. I don't feel so bad.
He threw it. This is fresh out of the package. He threw it.
I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, he's a little bigger than that.
He was, yeah. No more than 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one. There we go. There we go. Let's see what we got here. All right. All right. All right. Come on up here. Come on up here.
Oh, yeah, that's a little better.
That is a little better. All right. All right, so as you've seen, Johnson and I are both throwing rattle traps now, using a stop and go retrieve, just crank, crank, stop, crank, crank, stop. And then when we hit the top of the grass, we're ripping it out of the grass, and these fish are grabbing it right when we rip it out of the grass. But as you've also seen, our catch to hook ratio is not that great. We've been losing some fish, and the ones we catch seem to be the small ones. And we're going to put this little guy back. Oh, he's ready. He likes chewing on that thumb, I'll tell you that. All right. All right, everyone. We have obviously now moved into the nighttime hours. We've got our boat rigged for nighttime, and I want to share this tip with you for night fishing. I use outboard lights that I attach on the gunnel. I've got 2 on each side so I can see what's immediately surrounding the boat. When we get into some stumps, it helps out quite a bit, and especially when we're landing fish, it will help out quite a bit. I've got a couple of more lanterns inside the boat to provide plenty of light, not to mention this main light that I have running off of my navigation post that my camera is also running off of. Now, as you've probably seen from some of my videos previously, nighttime places limitations on what we're able to actually record. Our video field is going to be limited to what's lit in this boat. You're not going to be able to see us fighting fish to the boat. But that's one of the great things about night fishing for me, is you lose that visual sense. And so you have to rely on feel quite a bit more. And it introduces a completely different element to night fishing, which really attracts me to doing this. In addition to that, the fishing, the bite usually picks up at night too. So that's always good motivation to get out here and do this. We do have some bugs out, but it's not unbearably buggy out here. I actually wish it was, because if you can live with the bugs, the more bugs you have, the better the bite is going to be. That's just a standard rule that I've found of night fishing, because those bugs set off the entire food chain in the water. You're going to have the little fish hitting the surface, feeding on the bugs. You're going to have the big fish targeting the little fish, and so forth. So we've got our rods rigged for night fishing now. The lures that I like to use at night put a lot of vibration in the water, because all fish have lateral lines that run down the length of the fish. And fish use these lateral lines to pick up vibrations in the water. It's one of their senses that allows them to really target their prey. And so when I'm night fishing, I want to put vibration into the water. So I'm using a spinnerbait, a 10-inch plastic worm, and a black jig. And Johnson, are you using pretty much the same thing?
pretty much the same thing.
Okay, so we both got pretty much the same thing tied on our rods. Spinner baits, a 10-inch worm, and a jig to put vibration into the water. Color is not really important at night. I like using either black or white. You can see, or you probably can't see, the full moon is out, but we've got a little bit of cloud cover. Usually I like a clear sky when I'm night fishing so that the fish can see a silhouette, because what you're gonna want to do is run your lure over the top of the fish so they can see that silhouette in the moonlight and hit it. Shouldn't make a difference if you're putting enough vibration in the water. So we're going to start casting now, and hopefully it won't be too much longer before we're able to show you some fish. Like I said, you're not going to be able to see us fighting the fish, but we'll bring them up to the camera for you to see, and we'll share the technique that we use to catch them at that time. So, like I said, hopefully that won't be too long from now. Come here, buddy. Oh, yeah. There you go.
About time.
Woo! All right. All right, everybody. Finally caught me a little one. My best of the night. You know, nothing to brag about, but it's been unbelievably slow. We've been fishing worms, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, and just covering ground now. And this nice fish here hit that spinnerbait. So I was just using a steady retrieve and it hit it. You know, we're just trying different things now because it has been so slow. I mean, it's almost straight up midnight now. And, this, you know, this is like the first fish we put on the boat since it got dark. So hopefully, maybe things will turn on. So I'm going to put this fish back and hopefully catch another one here in the next few minutes. Hold on. Get ready. All right, buddy. Heck yeah.
Man, he's barely hooked. You see that?
Yeah, nothing but trailer hook. All right, everybody, there's another one. A little better. Fish are getting bigger. That's a good sign. Still on the spinnerbait here, trying different lures. Caught that one up in some heavy grass. On that white spinnerbait, just gonna keep casting and seeing what we can put on the boat. But yeah, at least they're getting bigger. So we're gonna keep at it. And put this fish back in the water. Let him enjoy the rest of his evening. All right, buddy. All right, so let's put this nice fish back in the water. All right. Thank you for sharing your evening with me. All right, bite down on that thumb. All right. See if we can do that again. All right, everyone, I apologize for the low light conditions. It's first light of the morning now. I can't sit here in all honesty and tell you that we fished through the night. We didn't. Johnson and I both hit a wall about 3:30, and you know, that's one of the tips I have for you for night fishing is know your limitations and don't ever try to push yourself beyond that. So about 3:30, Johnson and I went back to the car and took a power nap for about an hour and a half. Got back up, got back out on the water, and we're ready to go again. Here in the first light, we've got a little wind putting some ripple on the water. That's a good sign. we actually have a chance of rain later this morning, which is excellent. It's, you know, always good to get out and fish when you've got a falling barometer. It's something that just triggers the entire food chain. So we're hopefully going to have a real good morning here. We're going to continue fishing the lures that we were fishing last night. I just saw a big fish hit the surface up here, which is good because I've got a topwater tied on that I'm going to throw for you here in a minute. But our most productive lure last night was the white spinnerbait. Fished a 10-inch worm real hard, but for whatever reason last night they didn't want it. It has been a productive lure for me in the past. It just wasn't last night. But the white spinnerbait came through. I caught a couple of real nice fish on that. And hopefully, like I just said, we're about to put a few more on the boat for you. So I'm going to put this camera up and start casting so I can try to do that for you. And by the way, good morning. There you go. That fish hit it like a fish. Oh, goodness gracious! Did you see the side of that thing?
That was good one there. Yeah, that was the best one there. That's the best one.
Oh, goodness gracious! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that was the best one. That was at least a 6.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah, that was a good one there. That was good. You don't think he had his mouth good or what?
I have no idea. He sure hit it hard. I set the hook hard. There's no telling what happens with fish like that. So that
He looked bigger than what the fight was.
Yeah, well, yeah. So for those of you watching, that fish hit this silver and blue rattle trap. We're fishing over grass, so I'm just pulling this trap over the grass and ripping it through when it contacts it. That fish was in about 4 feet of water. At least we got to see it. There you go. There. I got that one. All right.
You got it in the mouth.
Yeah, you got it.
You want some pliers right quick?
I got pliers. All right, buddy. I sure would have liked to have caught your big brother. Put you back in the water. All right, you have a good day there, buddy. All right. Tear my thumb up while you're at it. There you go. There you go. I don't know if I have my hooks in this fish or not. I hope I do, though. I hope I got my hooks in that fish. Yes, sir. I hope I got my hooks in this one. Oh, I don't. He's snagged. He's snagged on the outside. And I got him on the top of the head. All right, buddy. Thank you for that. Woo!
You know, I might have to get one of those.
Oh, doggone it, I got him in the eye.
That might be one you want to keep for a picture.
Oh, poor guy. That's gruesome. I don't think anybody wants to see that on video. Oh, I just got him in the socket. His eye's fine. Oh, that makes me feel better. I'm gonna put that one in the live well. We might want to take a picture with him later on. There you go, buddy.
So you got another silver one?
I do.
That's good deal.
I got about 4 more silver. It's my favorite, one of my favorite lures right there. Yeah, well, got that fish on the outside of the head.
He was going after that bait, though.
Yeah, he was.
You didn't just happen to...
He was. It wasn't by accident. Oh, what the heck? I set the hook and it broke.
Oh. That's what happened on the spinnerbait last night. Probably should have retied after that last fish, huh?
I don't know. It broke way up the line. I mean, way up the line. So I had about a 4 or 5 foot leader on that thing, and it broke way up the line. Holy cow! Oh man! Doggone it!
There he is.
Get him, Johnson.
You called it.
That played out well.
Yep. Called it. You gonna catch one right on the outside.
There you go. That'll work. He inhaled that thing too. There he is. Got it right there at the boat. Got it right there at the boat. Oh, he wants his picture taken. That fish wants his picture taken. Alright, put this one in there, cull that little one out of there. Yeah. Got a few little fish in there. Come here, buddy. You're going back. You don't know how lucky you are. I guess y'all are all lucky, but you're lucky right now. All right, for all of you watching this video, this silver and blue rattle trap has been the lure of the trip, I guess. And all of these boats we've been seeing this morning, they're all fishing frogs right up against this shoreline. And it is a productive technique at times. And there are a lot of frogs in this lake. We heard them all last night. But the majority of our fish that we've caught have been in 4 to 5 feet of water well off the shoreline over grass. And every boat we've seen has been stuck on the same frog pattern because that's just what's popular at this time of the year. But we, didn't follow what everybody else is doing. And we have been consistently putting fish on the boat. So, don't follow the crowd, especially if it's not being productive. Don't be afraid to try something else. We're going to continue fishing this shoreline, and then I think we're going to call it a trip. We've been out on the water quite a few hours now. There you go. There's
right in his mouth.
All right, little fish. All right, everybody, that might be the last little fish of the morning right there. Last little fish of the trip. I don't know if it's morning or if it's the end of a long night. I don't know which. Thank you, buddy. Get him, Johnson. Get him. Oh, that's a good fish. Oh, buddy, that's a good fish. Oh, heck yeah. I think that fish wants his picture taken. As a matter of fact, that's why I stopped here, was to take some pictures, but
not bad.
Not bad. Put him in the live well. You can tell I've had some practice at this, getting this set up.
Got a timer on it?
I do have a timer on it, yes sir. I do. Okay, that's good background. All right, let's get some fish in our hands. See. Alright. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, 10, 9. Get up here, Johnson. Okay, gotta do that. Let's do one more. Let's do it close. All right, gonna do a triple release here. One, 2, 3. All right. Good job, buddy.
Man, that's a heck of a trip, bro.
Good time. All right, everyone, that's going to be the end of our trip. We just released the last of our bass, as you saw. It turned out to be a heck of a great morning. As you saw, it was a very slow night, but we fished it out as long as we could. Like I said, we hit a wall and had to stop and get some rest, but it was well worth sticking it out and coming back out on the water because we've had one heck of a great morning. And that's what I said in the initial introduction when we first got out on the water, is one of the great things about night fishing is you get to take advantage of two not only the night, but two of the very best daylight times to fish. The end of the day and the very first light, which is what we took advantage of when we caught all our fish today. Johnson, it's been a pleasure.
Trip.
Been a pleasure. I can't wait to have
Always,
you back.
man.
Can't wait to have you back. All right, so hopefully all of you have enjoyed watching this. If you have, please hit the like button for me, because hitting the like button is just a little something that you can do to help me continue sharing this with as many people as possible. And if you'd like to follow the Amateur Fishing Project, you can hit the subscribe button. And that way, you won't miss out on any of the videos that I have upcoming. So until I have the opportunity to share this with you again, wherever you may be, stay safe and have fun. That's a good trip, Johnson.